Kingsland School District Superintendent, and we're here to talk about the Flexible Learning Year proposal. John, tell me about this Flexible Learning Year application that I've been hearing about and the possible benefits for the district.
Well, the Flexible Learning Year application is a process by the Department of Education to allow schools to start their school year at a different time than the state mandate. We're looking at an application to start our school year 10 days early, but a big part of that application is not only starting 10 days early, it's what we'll be doing with those 10 days and all the days during the school year. Our focus will be on student achievement and professional staff development to really affect instructional practice to make a difference in how students learn, how they achieve, and to measure that by performance assessment.
Okay. If this application is approved, will the students be attending school for more days than in previous years?
They'll actually be starting earlier, but the whole calendar will shift. So we'll be starting 10 days earlier, we'll be finishing basically 10 days earlier. One of the things in the application, we have to certify that the students will receive the exact same or more instructional minutes, but it'll be exactly as the year before, same instructional minutes, just starting earlier and ending earlier.
The vision of the Flexible Learning Year is to increase learner achievement through collaboration. How will this be accomplished?
Well, we will have, through our collaborative efforts, a professional development committee that will actively plan professional development for our staff. And we'll have common professional development days that not only our district, but the districts involved in the application or in this process will be working with. Our staff then will have the opportunity to take those professional development opportunities and be able to collaborate with other school districts and other teachers to look at instructional practice and what we will actually do with students. We will talk about things such as professional learning communities, differentiation, and really look at professional practice. Collaboration is a very powerful tool in instructional strategies, and it's one we will highly utilize to help our teachers be at their best.
Tell me more about how districts will improve instructional quality throughout this program.
Well, we'll have 10 more days before state assessments. That's a positive, but that's only a small part. Actually, I think the strongest part of the program is the professional development that we will be working with our staff. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be looking at professional learning communities, something that all the districts in our consortium will work actively on and train teachers how to collaborate and really to look at what the students are doing, how they're learning, and how to measure that, and have collaboration to where we can talk about those types of things. And in smaller schools where teachers may be more in, sometimes we call the silo effect, they do not have the opportunities to collaborate, we will have ways to connect teachers not only within their buildings, but also in buildings or with districts that surround us, not necessarily by traveling, but by technology where teachers can work together collaboratively in different locations and have those discussions about student achievement, student practice, and what's going on in the classroom. So we're excited about those efforts and to bring that to our teachers through professional development.
How is higher education involved, and how will that benefit our students?
Well, if you think of the higher education schedule, they actually start earlier in the middle of August, and their students' first semester are done right at the winter break. Our schedules will line up very closely with theirs, where we'll be starting basically the same time as the colleges and ending our first semester at the same time. That will allow us to do more sharing of resources, not only with the school districts in our area, but also with the higher education institutions who are actively looking to share with us. From their student teachers sharing in professional development opportunities to teachers that are teaching high rigorous courses or college in the schools, they're going to be able to collaborate with our teachers just like our teachers are collaborating or will collaborate with other teachers in other districts so that we can have very good professional development. And we are looking at Kingsland of integrating a full college in the schools program next year. So this is an excellent opportunity for, as we have our teachers certified as college instructors, they will also have the opportunity through the Flexible Learning Year and technology to collaborate with their college professors on a regular basis so that we can ensure the rigor of those classes and the college experience for our students.
If approved by the Minnesota Department of Education, how long will the Flexible Learning Year be in place?
The application is for 3 years, so we'll be looking at the 2012, 2013, and 2014 school year. So we are actively planning flexible learning year calendar now for those 3 years. And we are not assured by the State Department until they reviewed our application upon approval. So we will be looking at a flexible learning year calendar and getting that ready for our school board, and call it a traditional regular calendar that we are used to starting after Labor Day. We will have that in place as well and bring to our school board and explain the benefits of both. If we move forward with a flexible learning year application, we'll have 2 calendars before the board, so that once the state makes a determination, if our application is approved, we'll know which calendar we have. If our application would not be approved, we'll have the regular calendar in place to go for our community. We will have to wait a little bit longer, but then all districts in the application will have to wait until the state makes a decision, which we hope would be soon or by the end of April.
What obligations does a school district need to make to be part of a flexible learning year plan?
In our application, the requirement is $10 per student for each school that is participating. So at Kingsland, we have close to 700 students. That would be $7,000 worth of staff development. Kingsland presently spends more than $7,000 at this time, but that would be our obligation to be in this flexible learning year application. When we had the schools and looked at the number of students that could be affected, we were somewhere between 70,000 to 77,000 students, depending on the number of schools that would join. That's close to $750,000 of staff development available. Think of those resources that we can take with a professional development committee and lining up professional development for our teachers and all the teachers. And as that's lined up, we will have access to all of those opportunities. Much more resources than what we've had in the past, and we are excited to bring that to our teachers.
How will you know if the program is successful? What measures will you use?
Well, we use measures that are common in schools. Common measure, the MCAs, Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments, that we all take in April. We will look at our progress that we'll be making on those. We had an interesting in-service, very good in-service with Margaret Biggerstaff, the state data expert, to share with our administrators and teachers of how to look at data, diagnose data, and predict where you would like to be based on data. It's called indexing and setting performance academic goals, so that when it goes down to the state realizes that you really understand data, you really understand student achievement, and you have a plan that will be measured not only by the state, but we'll be able to measure it by ourselves because we've actually helped develop that through the state's efforts. So through MCA data, there is the Explorer that 8th graders are involved in, the plan assessments, commonly ACT scores will also be used as a measure. Plus we'll be doing survey, not only with our staff, but community on the satisfaction and the progress that we're making to get more information back. But a lot of it will be based on student data, student achievement that the state measures us by in adequate yearly progress.
What other districts are looking at the flexible learning year?
Well, we've had up to 30 school districts in southeastern Minnesota. This whole area has been exposed to this application. All have been very interested in it. Depending on needs, there may be a few districts that may not be able to join us this year for different reasons, but we have at this time 20 to 25 schools that are actively pursuing the application process. School districts are looking very closely and are concerned about the feelings of the community and want to really investigate this flexible learning year. So as we go through the process, Kingsland as well as 25 other districts are holding community meetings, bringing information to the school board this next month, so that by March, at the March school board meeting, the school boards will have this information from the communities. We'll have discussions and really look at the flexible learning year, so that the application or the school boards will be moving forward on whether to make an application or not. But presently we have 25 districts that are moving forward with this.
Could you share with us any concerns that you've been asked about the flexible learning year?
A few of the initial concerns when you start the school year early in the middle of August are state fair, students that are involved in 4-H and state fair. Heat, sometimes we know the month of August can be hotter or warmer than usual for districts that may have buildings that are not air conditioned. Labor Day weekends with trips and planning, these types of things are all concerns. And we have those concerns as well. We look to our neighbors to the west. Southwestern Minnesota has 25 school districts that was approved last year that have been in this year with a flexible learning year, very similar to the one that we proposed. When we asked them about the state fair, the same concern that you brought to me, they said when they measured the data, there's 25 districts involved 16,000 students. They had 238 requests. All requests were approved. Students did attend state fair, got their homework and assignments ahead of time, came back, and there was very little concern. Students did well, and that would be about 1.4, 1.5% of the student population, and it wasn't a hurdle or a stumbling block that they thought it could be, which was an interesting thing. When we look at the temperature, we all know that some days can be very warm. If we look at average temperature over years, the difference in those 2 weeks can be a degree or two. It is a concern, though, for buildings that are not air conditioned. When we looked at southwestern Minnesota, they said it was negligible. They did not see that being a huge detrimental factor in the education of students. Also with Labor Day weekends and traditional family trips and so on, if we had those requests, we would honor those requests. Students would have work and assignments ahead of time so they could still enjoy traditions, family vacations, but get their work done as well.
Why is it important for our district to go forward with this application?
I'll go back to the first part that we talked about. It's not the 10 days. It's about student achievement and helping our students be at their best. The professional development, the things that we'll bring to our teachers, the resources that we'll have for our teachers, to where we will actually be able to affect instructional practice and what happens in the classroom. And that is where you can measure, and that is where you can improve student achievement. And if we're able to do that and measure that and make measurable gains with our students and helping them achieve more, then this move and this application or this process will be well worth the efforts.
Well, John, I appreciate your taking the time to answer my many questions about the flexible learning year proposal. I know that our local school board will be voting on that proposal at their March 21st meeting. Anyone with questions concerning the proposal can contact either the local district office or look at the local district website. This is Tony Calabrese signing off with John McDonald, Kingsland School Superintendent.